a treat. I know that Heidi started following Jamie Taylor a while ago, and now I'm following her too, and got to meet her and talk with her a little bit this year at seminar. She's not the youngest one ever to become a national, but she is currently the youngest national in the whole North American region of Mary Kay. And she is absolutely real and down to earth, no pretension. I absolutely love her style, and I love some of the things that she has to say. She reminds me a lot of Hope Przansky, one of our consultants, but she also reminds me of myself when I started Mary Kay. She's talking about blazing a trail and doing it your way. So without any further ado, let's put that video on, and then we'll summarize at the end. Enjoy.
It won't let me hit play.
Hey folks, hey folks, hey folks. All right, let me get into some of your questions. I'm going to jump into things today. Really interesting week.
This is not it, and I cannot get it to pause. There's like this annotate, but oh, maybe I can drag it. Okay, let's get back.
The best Halloween decor from Michael's. Because Michael's has everything.
There we go.
My name is National Sales Director Jamie Taylor, and I know that I'm hanging out with some incredible trailblazing beauty consultants today. So welcome to another episode of our Boss Babe series featuring trailblazers and how you can be a trailblazer in your Mary Kay business and in your life. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to be with you guys, and I'm excited to get to know you a little bit better. So if you don't know me, I already told you my name's Jamie, and I already told you I'm a national sales director. But a couple of fun facts. I am actually currently the youngest national sales director in North America, which is fun. That was a goal that I had a long time ago, and I ended up reaching that, which is really cool. But position available if you are younger than me and would love to become a national. You do it, girl. I would love that for you. But for now, I am our youngest, okay? So that's a fun fact about me. I started my Mary Kay business as a 20-year-old in college. It was 2012, so it was 12 years ago. And yeah, I did not know that it was going to turn into all of this. After starting my business at the age of 20, I went on to love it through college. I actually earned my first Mary Kay card in college. I became a sales director the same week that I graduated and had finals my senior year of college. It was a busy week. I finished DIQ and then went to a final exam and then graduated. So fun stuff. Earned my card during that time, got out of college, and decided to embrace my Mary Kay business full time. That wasn't the plan. The plan was to get a big girl grown up job. And I decided to embrace my Mary Kay business full time, and the rest is history. So after that, I earned my first pink Cadillac at the age of 22. I earned my first top sales director trip at 23. And I went on over the course of those next 6 years from earning my first top trip to become a national. I became a national at 29 years old. And oh my goodness, what an incredible journey. And I want to share with you a little bit about the journey. And I want to share with you a little bit today about what it means to be a trailblazer in your Mary Kay business. Now listen, if I put myself in your shoes as a beauty consultant and somebody said, be a trailblazer, I would be like, I don't know what I'm doing. No, I know you can look to your sales director or to national sales directors on these videos that you're getting to listen to and to think, do I have anything in common with her? I don't know. I remember that feeling so well. But in hindsight, when I look back on my first year that I was a beauty consultant, there were so many really cool, great trailblazing things that I was doing that I didn't quite see it at the time, and I can see it now. And so I want to help give you some ideas of what this could look like for you to step into not just being a follower, though I'm sure you're an excellent follower of your leader. I mean, hey, you're participating in our Boss Babe series. You're showing up. I know that about you. I know that even though I might not know exactly who I'm talking to right now, I know that if you're watching this video and here we are at the beginning of the year, that you're somebody who has goals, you want to make changes, you're showing up, you're hungry to learn, and you're open to the possibility of more, right? I know that that must be true about you, right? So I was saying, I'm sure you are a great follower. I'm sure you are. But being a trailblazer looks like stepping out of just being a follower and stepping into being a creator, taking an active role in creating the future that you want with your Mary Kay business and how your Mary Kay business can support what you want for your future and dreams that you have. And really just, like I said, taking an active role in that and not just waiting for your leader or a trainer or somebody or the company to tell you what to do. We get to glean wisdom from those people, but the time comes, and for all of us, where it's time to take the baton and it's our turn to run. It's our turn to create. It's our turn to lead. And I want you to know, no matter how long you've been in your Mary Kay business, whether you just started, you're not too early. You're not too young. You're not too inexperienced. You can start leading here, right where you are. Or maybe you've been building your Mary Kay business for a long, long time. It's not too late. It's not too late. We're each on our own journey, right? And when we think about trailblazers and blazing a trail, it makes me think of the opposite of that, which would be a well-worn path, right? So let's explore the differences in the characteristics of a well-worn path and a trailblazer, or a blazed trail, I should say. So a well-worn path, that's going to be something that somebody has figured out for us, right? Maybe a well-worn path that's coming to your mind, like a hiking trail that you love or whatever. Maybe it's something that, it has just been worn down through years and years and thousands of people taking that path so that it's worn for you. You can tell this is the way to go. Somebody else has figured it out. Or maybe it's even like a paved trail. But either way, in these scenarios, the obstacles have been figured out for us. Somebody has already done the navigating for us and they have decided this is the path of least resistance. This is how we're going to go. Hey, that's great. We need those, right? We love and appreciate those well-worn paths, both literally in the physical world, but also in our Mary Kay businesses. There are things that people have just gone before us. They've figured it out for us. This works. So we love that. Okay. We love that. But, there's this part of it that you just kind of follow where the path leads. You'll end up where it ends up. And it's all been kind of figured out for you. But when you're blazing a trail, well, you're navigating the whole thing. You're overcoming obstacles as they're coming at you. And you're trying to decide, okay, am I going to keep moving forward? And how could I go over, under, or around this obstacle? What would be my best plan? And you take an active role in how this journey turns out, but also you're going to make decisions based on where you want to go. If you're blazing a trail, it's because you're trying to get somewhere. So where are you trying to get? And what is going to be the best way for you to get there? Because sometimes well-worn paths, while they are convenient, safe, and easy, are they going to take you to the destination that you want? So the question is, what do you want with your Mary Kay business? What kind of income are you wanting to generate? Where do you want to end up on the career path? What's your wildest Mary Kay dream? Dream as big as you can. Where are you trying to get? Because there are times where we follow the path of things that have been taught to us. And there are times where it's time to lead and go create what we need to create, okay? So I know this is all kind of abstract. So let me bring it back down to my Mary Kay business. So I told you guys I started in college. And, honestly, starting my Mary Kay business was one of the first times I blazed a trail in my Mary Kay business. I don't know if you can relate, but it took an insane amount of courage for me to just say yes to Mary Kay and to order my starter kit. Can anybody relate? That in and of itself was the first time that I was kind of veering off of the regular path of, here I was 20 years old and in college. Of course, I went on to get my degree, but I was on this path. I was looking for part-time jobs. I was looking for, just the regular things that college students do to make extra money. And when Mary Kay came along, this was the first time that I was like, this is a little outside of the box, and it scares me.
Chevy Trucks. More dependability awards for.
I'm uncomfortable thinking about putting myself out there, putting myself up to rejection, being embarrassed perhaps. Saying yes to Mary Kay was the first time I started. It wasn't just that I started my business, I started my trail. And I took a step onto this journey that I didn't exactly know how it was going to turn out. And I knew there'd probably be some obstacles and it might be a little bumpy here or there, but what if it turned out better than I could even imagine? Can anybody relate? I am here to tell you, as your Mary Kay big sister, who's maybe further down her journey than you, it gets really good. So be sure to keep traveling down that path. So congratulations to you for starting your Mary Kay business. But not long after I started my business, I told you I was in college. And a fun fact about my college was it was a Christian university. So we didn't have Greek life. There was not like a party culture or anything like that. And I loved my school experience. But I was booking and really trying to build my business and get in front of people. And I was doing faces and stuff like that. And booking always felt challenging to me. And I look back, I'm really proud of myself for just doing it anyways, because it always scared me to talk to girls on campus and ask them to be a face model. And it was hard for me, but I did it. And I look back and I'm really proud. But a time that I blazed a trail, and this is a small example, but it showed you the way I was thinking. I thought to myself, if somebody were to try to book me, would I say yes to this? Like, these scripts that we get, scripts are great. They're a great place to start. But this was a time where, yes, I was following well. I was a good student of Mary Kay. I would take in the information, but this was a time based on, I was the youngest person in my unit. I was the only college student in my unit. And this was the time that I kind of veered off and blazed a trail and thought, okay, I know all these concepts based on what I'm learning from my Mary Kay mentors, but is there a tweak I can make that would help me to get more yeses? What could help me get more yeses? Because maybe this script in theory works, but will it work really well for my demographic and for the women that I'm trying to book? And so this was a question I asked myself, well, would I say yes to this? Would I book with me, right? Have you ever asked yourself that? Would I book with me? Go pull up the last few booking messages that you sent, or reflect on the last time you did try to book somebody on the phone, in person, or through messaging them. Go back and read it. Would you be really honest with yourself? Would you be like, yeah, I would book? That sounds amazing. If the answer is, I don't know that I would book, but I'm sending out my messages. Okay, this is time where you could potentially blaze a trail and go into that creative mode. So I thought to myself, what would I absolutely say yes to? 100%. I would say yes. I just told you a little bit about my college's culture. And I thought, wouldn't it be so great to have a space where we would have an excuse to get dressed up? Because we didn't really have that with our lack of parties and our lack of Greek life. And so I was like, man, if I could come up with some kind of really fun mixer, social gathering, a fun event that I hadn't seen modeled for me anywhere else. I just, bookings and parties and facials. But I was like, could I come up with an event that somebody would say yes to? If I were to ask them, they'd be like, that sounds fun. And so I created a little black dress event. And I invited girls. It gave me so much confidence to literally say to them in class, hey, I'm having this event Friday night. Will you please come? And it gave me confidence to ask them like that. And they said, oh, that sounds like so much fun. I made little invite flyers. I had a whole theme, everybody. So I was meeting a need. The girls on my campus, they were like, a reason to get dressed up and wear a cocktail dress. I'm in. We didn't have things like that. And so I created it. I created something that didn't exist on our campus. And I created something that my Mary Kay sisters weren't necessarily doing. They didn't have to do it, but I did it. And I had a huge event, dozens of girls come out. I sold a bunch. I added new team members. It was outside of my comfort zone. And I felt in over my head when they were all coming into that event in their little black dresses. And here I was, barely a red jacket, pulling off this event. I felt out of my scope. But I look back, I'm so proud of myself that I had the guts to try something new and to say, would I say yes to this? And the answer was yeah. If somebody tried to book me for this, I would go. And so it intimidated me and it felt too big for me, but I did it anyways. And it wasn't perfect. I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure I messed things up. But that's where my head was at. When was the last time that you put yourself out there? Maybe put yourself in a place that you're like, that's what blazing a trail feels like sometimes, but it can take you to where you want to go. I want to share another one with you. I told you I joined in 2012 and I was 20 years old. I just so happened to join Mary Kay at a time in our world's history and also my age was this perfect intersection of the very beginning of social media. So like the year that I joined Mary Kay, I had just gotten my first smartphone. I had downloaded the Instagram app. I had Instagram well before Mary Kay Cosmetics had their own Instagram account. Very few people were on the app when I got it. And so when I started Mary Kay, it was also the time that social media was blooming in the way it was. And for the first time ever, it was in the palm of our hands all the time. Because I would only check my social media platforms like on my laptop. Or when I got home from school, right? Or home from classes. But I was like 6 months into having a smartphone for the first time ever. We were so much more connected than we had ever been. And this was when I started my Mary Kay business. And I started to experiment showing up in my Mary Kay business on social media, on Instagram. I was trying all kinds of things and sharing authentically my Mary Kay journey. And if you ever want to pull up my Instagram and scroll back 12 years, by all means, go for it. And you can see where I was just trying. I was just showing up. And nobody was modeling it for me, you guys. Nobody was modeling it for me. I did not have a single Mary Kay person to follow on Instagram. I was the Mary Kay girl. And I tried things. And it was awkward. And I got things, and and then the social media guidelines came out years later and I adjusted. And it's so funny because in a way, I was a trailblazer when it came to using our Mary Kay business with social media. And what's so cool is that now there's so many of you out there, you're better at it than me. You are better than me, okay? But I had the guts to get started 12 years ago when I didn't have anybody to copy, right? What is it for you? What is it for you? What's the little thing inside of you that you're like, I feel like I could do this, but like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know who to copy. You should try it. I don't know what it is, but that was an example for me. Another one was I was a sales director and my husband and I decided to move to Nashville, Tennessee. Okay. And I was moving away from the city and state where I built my entire Mary Kay business, my offspring sales directors, and I was moving to a whole new land, okay, with 0 team members, 0 leads, okay? And you want to talk about intimidated, you want to talk about uncomfortable, yeah, even with the pink car, even with offspring back home and a big old team back home, to start over like that. This was a time that I implemented the concepts of a well-worn path, knowing what works for lead generating, booking, sharing, networking, but also the aspect of trailblazing and just starting again, starting fresh, starting new with no leads, with nothing except for the concepts that I had learned from those well-worn paths. And that was the time that I just embraced the activity that wasn't comfortable for me. The amount of warm chatting I had to do, it's not my favorite way to lead generate, but when you don't know a single person in town, you start to do it. And to watch something grow from nothing to a couple of leads, to a couple of bookings, to a small customer base, to a team member or two, to more customers, to more team members, to offspring sales directors, to a national area.
Build a website you love with Wix. Were your words?
It started with some guts. It started with some courage to implement what I had learned and to embrace being a beginner again. Okay. And so what I want you to know is when it comes to being a trailblazer, as a beauty consultant, as a leader that you're stepping into, if no courage is involved, I don't think you're doing it right. Okay. I want you to know if you're ever feeling in your Mary Kay business a little uncomfortable, okay, you're feeling a little squeezed, you're feeling like, I don't want to do this is scaring me. I want you to know that whatever those things are, you're doing something right. Because I could go back and look at all the events or the vendor shows or the warm chatting, the restaurant appreciations, the asking for referrals, the you name it, the things I did that felt uncomfortable. But what propelled me, my friends? What made me sit in that discomfort of doing things that I didn't love doing, that didn't feel like they came very naturally? Well, it's back to what I was saying. When you're blazing a trail, you got to know where you're going. Okay. And that is what propelled me. As a beauty consultant, as a sales director, and now as a national sales director, what's your true north? Where are you trying to go? And I focused and I marinated on where do I want to go? And that gave me the courage to just take the next step, to overcome the obstacle in front of me, to work on what was next, because I knew where I was going. My friends, if I didn't know where I was going, why would my feet have ever moved? Why would I have ever gotten comfortable? Uncomfortable, I mean. Why would I have? If I didn't have a dream big enough, why would I? My question to you is, do you have a dream big enough to propel you into trailblazing? Because if not, you might want to take the notes that you took from today and push them off to the side for just a second. You're going to need to know where you're going. And hey, it's not set in stone. The path might change and wind as you go, but what's your next best step? And what's something you could do right now that would be new, that would take some courage, that would make you uncomfortable, but you know, based on the wisdom and the training that you've received up to this point, it would probably be good for you if you embraced it. That's what I want to empower you to do today. So it's time for us to get to our discussion time. Thank you so much for your time. I am so proud of you for showing up to these, and I'm just praying over all of you. The 2025 is your trailblazing year in your Mary Kay business, in your life, in your finances, in just whatever God has on your heart, a place in your life where you want to grow and go to the next level. It will take traveling to the next level. It will take getting on your way and getting on the right path. And sometimes, my friends, you got to make that path yourself. So I'm cheering you on. I love you guys, and I will see you at seminar. Bye, guys.
Oh my God, she's so stinking cute. So first of all, let's just kind of chat about takeaways. One of the things that I've watched this 3 times now, or 2.5 times, that I love that she said is to not just be a follower and be waiting for somebody to tell you what to do and how to do it. We have that. We certainly do have that at Mary Kay. We have so much. We have probably too much information from way too many resources. Now, when I started, we had the consultant guide, and we had our weekly meeting, and we had our company events. That was pretty much it. That's how you knew how to do what you knew to do. Now there's videos, there's tutorials, there's social media, there's all of that. But I loved what she said about not just being a follower, but move into being the creator. And you really are only going to do that when you know what it is that you want, because you have to have a direction that you're working toward. And the beautiful thing about Mary Kay, which sometimes is a downside, there's a million ways to get there. And Gloria Mayfield Banks, she was one of the top nationals ever to go through the ranks of Mary Kay and the amount of leaders. And she said, it's okay to be a copycat as long as you copy the right cat. Well, how do you know? It's based on where do you want to go? What is it that you want? And reaching out to somebody who's done that and who's gone there, who can show you the way. So that's kind of my 2 cents worth. I loved what she said about move out of just being a follower and be a creator. Find your own path to what it is that you want. You certainly have the support, though. So what kinds of takeaways did you guys have? Who would like to share? Okay, Heidi says, I love the concept of trying new things that you're passionate about, the way she created what her audience needed at college. Yeah, the little black dress event. Love that. Thank you, Heidi.
I like the way she said that it's not set in stone. Sometimes you have to cut your own path.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yep. Absolutely. I think that really was the theme of her video. What else? What are your guys' takeaways? What did you take from that?
I just wanted to write, just to kind of take a second and listen to the notes that I listed. I know we're used to hearing accolades and different things, but this was kind of interesting. So she started her Mary Kay career at 20 years old in college. She went through DIQ while she was doing finals at college. Her third year of college at 23 years old, she was a car driver. She was a top director going on the trip. And she was the youngest national by age 29. Like, wow. I mean, that is just, that in and of itself is trailblazing right there. I mean, how many people do that and have been successful or whatever? And she did it. And she, like she said, you know, she was right at the beginning of like all of the technology and stuff and the Instagram and the Facebooks and all that kind of stuff. And she did it. She built a business twice in 2 different places. And she still felt inadequate in her own walk. And that was one of the things that I think we can all resonate with too. It doesn't matter how old we are, how young we are, where we live, where we don't live, what we've been through, what we believe now, you know, all of those things, it's all ever changing and growing. And as long as we're always putting one foot in front of the other, there's always a way to move forward. And so, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool little accolades.
And you know, I think that she's been a national for a few years, and I think she's 29 now. So I think she actually became a national when she was 25 or 26, but she's currently still the youngest national in North America, is what she said. And I think she said she's 29 now, right? Or did I misunderstand that? I know that she's had 2 babies and all, gotten married and all that kind of stuff in between all of that too, and moved to Nashville. So
I thought she was 32.
What's that?
Because she said she started. I thought she was 32 because she said she'd been
maybe
at
she is.
12
Okay,
years.
maybe I missed that. Okay. Yeah, she said she's currently the youngest national. Kimberly Copeland, who is Crystal Hunsaker, the one that does the Monday, the hotline. It's her sister. She was like 23 when she became a national. She was the youngest one to become a national, but that's been a lot of years ago. So I love Jamie Taylor's realness, is that she's not afraid to just be down to earth and, you know, be herself and not have to be cookie cutter, almost too professional. It makes her relatable, I think, to all personality styles.
Yeah.
Rebecca, did you have something?
I did. So the thing that one thing that she said that I caught, and I don't have my notes in front of me because I'm feeding the baby, but something along the lines of getting back to like being new. So the thing that I love and appreciate so much about when new consultants join, and I remember being in this place, is that there's this fire and this excitement that happens, right? So like what Riley's doing right now is, you know, there's just this excitement to get moving. And I think sometimes when we've been in it for a while and depending on, you know, where we're at in life, we can get super comfortable and we can just be like, oh, well, you know, sometimes I've been in that place where it's like, oh, well, you know, and so that really just hit me in a different way where she was like, get back to being new and doing the things that new consultants do. And one thing that we've been talking about is going through MK University to get my Mary Kay National Area Pin. I still have not done that. Okay. And I mean, I've done parts of it, but like things like that where, you know, we get, for whatever reason, sometimes we get comfortable or we just decide to coast. And sometimes we need to remember what it's like to be a new consultant and be working with a sense of urgency and that excitement again. And the great thing about that too is that when we get to that place, excitement and that fire attracts excitement and fire, right? And so depending on where we're wanting to go with our business and you know, it's just super helpful. So that really stuck out to me in just I need to get back to that place of just, you know, and all of these new leads that I'm getting from the fair definitely has my books on fire right now, which I'm super stoked about. But just getting back to the basic and being a student again, I think, because so much continues to change and evolve. And even some of the things, even I just celebrated 11 years and some of the things I am not up to date on, and I will admit that. So it was just a really good reminder to get back to being a good student.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. You know, Rebecca, I feel like you've always been so charismatic, but I feel like your post-baby charisma like is back. I feel like you're back. And that reminded me of something that she said about like, if you really listened to and went back and watched like how you're approaching people about getting together, would you book with yourself? Like, how are you coming across? Instead of, you know, asking for something, it's like understanding that we have a lot to offer, but really what you're offering is you. And people really buy you. People who want to do business with you are going to be your customers for life. So I remember Mary Kay always saying you can do everything right with the wrong attitude and not be successful as far as technical. And I knew people like that, you know, were even in my personal unit when I joined, but you can do everything wrong with the right attitude and you're going to be successful. It is that attractive energy where people just want to be around you and want to do business with you. And so be the kind of person that you want to attract, because John Maxwell always says in leadership training, we attract who we are, not who we want or who we need. We be the kind of person that you want to attract. Be the accountable person, the excited person, the disciplined person, the follow through, you know, all of those kinds of things. But more than anything, just be excited about what it is that you're doing. This is fun. There's nothing hard about Mary Kay. It's this stuff. Like Mary Kay said, it's always these 6 inches. That's the work, is the work that we do on ourselves. All right, who else? I noticed that Deb made a comment about to think big. Don't be afraid to think bigger. You know, have a wild dream in Mary Kay. Anything that we've ever accomplished big in Mary Kay has been because there's been somebody leading with that kind of vision.
Yeah,
But you
be
have to
open.
for you.
Be open to the possibility of more.
Yeah, open to the possibility of more. How much better can it get? All right. Anybody else before we're going to do a little count up for points. Now we're not really doing it for recognition per se or prizes, but it's kind of fun just to see. These are 2 things before we do this that I want you to think about. Like, what have I learned? You know, what kinds of things are my takeaways from these videos, as many of you have been able to participate in, and what would I like to improve on in my own personal business? So I want to start out with, how many of you have been on every single one of these for the past 7 weeks? Raise your hand. You can raise it in virtually or in here. So Riley, are you the only one that hasn't missed a week? Sandy, you did it before though, right?
I did the first like 3 or 4. I didn't get to see all the videos.
Oh, okay. When you went through it the first time, did you catch them?
Not all of them.
Oh, okay. So, so those are the things that I want to ask you guys to look at, is like, what are your takeaways? What would you, hi, Jen made it. What are your takeaways? Go back and watch the video. It's so good, Jen. You know, what are the things that you want to put into place, or that you realize, you know, I can improve upon this? And what got you excited about new things that you want to try? You don't have to answer that out loud, but let's do a count up. So first of all, congrats to Riley, brand new consultant on all 7 weeks of Boss Babe series. That's what it takes to be a trailblazer, first and foremost. I haven't even been on all of them because I was out of town. So way to go on that. Mary Kay always said, those who show up, go up, right? Okay. And
So I
then,
did miss the one where I was in seminar, but I'd seen it before because I'd done Boss Babes before. So I've seen all 7 of them now.
yeah. Okay. So Jana too. So way to go, Jana. Way to go. And also too, like every single week, I know Jana actually takes a copy of and turns in her point sheet. So let's do a little count up. How many of you have at least 1,000 points throughout this Boss Babe series? Raise your hand. Let's see. So we've got Jana, Deb, Heidi, Rebecca. Of course, Kelly's doing it too as a director. I love that. Okay. How many of you have 1,500 or more? Keep your hands up.
No.
How many of you, it looks like we're down to Jana and Kelly. How many of you have 2,000 or more? Jana and Kelly. How about 2,500 or more?
I think so.
Okay, I think you do. I definitely think you do, Jana. So way to lead the pack. And, you know, I know that you have really stretched out of your comfort zone, kind of joining as an adoptee or our unit. jumping in and participating in 2 new director debuts back to back, going and jumping in and doing slots at the fair. So I just want to give you some kudos. Let's give it up for Jana for really jumping in there in a new area. She's been in Mary Kay for 3 years, but she hasn't
No,
really.
I've been here for 3 years.
Oh, sorry, I've been in the Boise area for 3 years, but she's really just recently jumped into having some local, a local unit to participate in training and stuff. So congrats to all of you on that. I was on all, my total points is over 2,000. Oh yeah, Jennifer Poole has also been on all of them. I thought you had, Jen. So even though you're a little bit late tonight, I know that you got on. So way to go on that. All right. So this is all, again, just take those golden nuggets. These are all people who have made it all the way to the top of Mary Kay. And if you're not doing it, I was just talking with my new consultant, Linda, about this today. The $1 Million Hotline, just getting on that and just making a habit. And, you know, maybe to give yourself a sticky note until you get in the habit of it, but just making it a habit to get on at least 5 days a week. Sometimes Tiffany on Wednesday doesn't get her message in there, which is we get Tuesday 2 days in a row, which is fine. But at least 5 days a week, typically there is a new message from a different NSD daughter. And most of them have been in top director trips, if not $1 Million Unit. And then of course, Thursday is Kristen Sharp. She is a national sales director. And the messages are so helpful for all areas of life. It's something that I've got stuff up on my mirror, new affirmations that I'm doing a week at a time. I've got my affirmations and I've got my hotline, and those are just in a little meditation and things that I do in the morning. Those are just given. Like no matter what, before I start my day, I do those things. Otherwise, the day will get away from you and you may not even get to any of them. So just really an encouragement to put some really good stuff in your head. It's going to carry throughout your entire day and keep you in a positive mind frame. And if you don't have a concrete, clear goal right now, we're already 2 months into the seminar year, get some clarity on what it is that you want to accomplish. Not just the seminar year, but even break it down. Like, what do you want to do? So Jana had a total of 3,400 points. Way to go, Jana. Let's give it up for Jana. That is absolutely amazing. She's doing it all, worm chatting and everything. All right, so next week, you guys, we're going to be really jumping into pre-holiday season. So you're going to want to get on so that you can have your best holiday selling season ever. And then just reminder, we have this next week there's a few deadlines. We did MK5K, we talked about that. Also to get your 600 in if you're going for that, for consistency. And On Target Star Consultant is coming up. So 31st at 11 p.m. Boise time, Mountain Time, if you're here, is the deadline to get orders into count for this month. All right, does anybody have anything else before we close? I wanted to read something that I just sometimes post these things and sometimes I just take pictures of it. One just second. This is one of the things that I love about social media is all of the wonderful positive things. I like the positive ones. And I relate to this. Was Mary Kay's message always to us. She always was about empowering women for us to feel good about ourselves. She would always say, if one more person feels better about themselves today, it's been a good day and I've done my job. And she said, girl, well, this isn't from her, but it could have been. She said, this is the message says, girl, look at you. After everything life has thrown your way, you've handled it like a boss. You work hard, you're strong, ambitious, and resilient. You're genuine, loyal, and unapologetically you. Anyone who can't see your worth doesn't deserve a seat at your table. You are a queen. So just remember that. It's not about being conceited, but remember the value that you are, what you have to offer and what you bring to the table with other people. It is the #1 way that I got over my shyness and my self-consciousness when I started in Mary Kay, is to take all of the focus off of what are they thinking about me, you know, because I was so nervous and unqualified and unexperienced in this kind of a thing. And I just put all the focus on other people and asked questions and got curious and practiced getting social with people. And now it is my favorite thing. It's the way that I continue to perpetuate my business. It happened on the airplane. It usually does, you know, where you just get talking, and Mary Kay is just such a vehicle to really enter people's lives in a very special, intimate way. And we have such a gift that we have to offer other people. So remember that when you go, you know, reach out to somebody, it's not about apologizing for asking somebody if they want a facial. It's about, you know, has anybody ever taken the time to offer you a complimentary pampering session or a facial or makeover or whatever? Looking at it from the perspective of what you have to offer. So that's kind of what I want to leave you with. And we have completed our Boss Babe series, and these are all archived. I believe they're all on our Inspired Area page, not our Inspired, yeah, our Inspired Area YouTube page. And I know Kelly's been kind of looking at some of the numbers, and we're getting a lot of engagement, you guys, from the training that we do. And thank you so much, Heidi, for editing and putting all of our content on there, because it's helping a lot of people even outside of our unit and our area. So get a goal. Focus on, you know, what is it that I want to change or implement based on these videos that I've been watching, and how can I blaze a trail and move into creativity and attraction. There's a video that I was watching this morning, and it was Napoleon Hill wrote that book, Think and Grow Rich. It's ancient, but it's way ahead of its time. And, you know, again, what he was talking about was abundance and money, but this could go for anything. It's about be in alignment with the energy of how you feel with what it is that you want to attract. If you need get help, if you need, Mary Kay said, if you need help, if you need counseling, get counseling, but get out of your head the lies and the limiting beliefs that you hold about what it is that you can have, be, and do, because that's the only thing in the way. This opportunity is the same for every one of us. It doesn't change for anybody. We have the same marketing plan, we have the same product, we have the same company. So it's, what do we need to get fixed in here? And Mary Kay's always said, you know, what does she have that you can't get fixed, when a new queen was being crowned always? So I'm going to ramble on, but I'm going to let you guys go. Have a wonderful, fantastic week. Love to all of you. I missed
Me
you.
too. Feel better,
Bye for
Heidi.
now. Yeah, Heidi, feel better. Love to you all. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.